We might find ourselves in competition.
Competition's good. All right, we are live. So, welcome to the stream, everyone. Of course, you know me. This is Total OS today with my special guest, Switch to Linux.
Switch to Linux. You always have to do this for my logo because I'm not wearing my shirt because I'm eating dinner. I don't want to get messed up.
And if anybody complains about being hungry tonight, it is not my fault.
Right. Hey, we always talk food, so.
All right. So anyway,
I'm going to see if I can get Hangouts on one screen and
the
live stream on the other so that I can
all right,
monitor comments.
Okay.
Well, Front Page Tech is live too. See if we can steal any of his guys.
Front Page Tech. I'm not familiar with Front Page Tech.
He's just kind of does like comedy, newsy type stuff. He's a little vulgar.
Okay.
I like watching his stuff. He's kind of a good like comedy news type stuff.
Okay. All right. So we have KO 2610, Lamer Linux. We are live. Hello all. Yes, greetings. We'll wait a few minutes for people to stop. But yeah, I wasn't sure you were going to jump on because of your computer issues, which we will talk about. I actually went shopping at Kroger's.
Hey, I got a lot of computers.
Okay, well.
I actually have 3 different computers I could feasibly get online with.
Got it.
If I need to. And I intentionally built my business around that so that,
got it.
You know, in the event of a big meltdown, I don't have to lose a day of business.
Okay.
Okay,
but we'll talk about that. So it was your main computer that got hot?
Well, it was my main video production computer.
Okay.
My main YouTube computer. So I have a main YouTube computer and I have a main web design computer. This computer I'm on now is actually the backup for both of those.
Okay.
So this computer here is actually my most decked out computer as it does everything YouTube and it does everything web design.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I actually have 2 computers, 2 desktops, and I could probably do it off a laptop. But I have this Lenovo, which I've talked about before. This is actually the backup one that plays good with Linux. I have the gateway on the side of my TV here.
Do they still exist?
I'm not really sure because I bought that refurb years ago. It was a good deal, but I
want to say the second full computer I ever bought was a gateway. Like I bought my first one was a custom build back before you could go into a store and buy computers.
Okay.
But then, we came down to buy another computer, and it's like Gateway. I was in grad school, I think, so I bought a Gateway.
Okay,
it was nice. So I had that for I don't know 4 or 5 years.
Okay, maybe they're on QVC now or Shopping Channel. Not really sure what, but anyway, I have it. So I have 2 computers. I haven't had one meltdown yet, which we'll talk about in a moment. But yeah, Tom had a meltdown with his hot OS.
Well, it's the last time I tried to install Satan OS. I mean, jeez.
Let us pray.
That's right. I forgot to pray over the thing, and it just
yeah.
I don't know what exactly was the end final destination of the thing because I know the power supply was dying.
Okay.
I hear it probably since I got it. I think the power supply was dying.
Okay.
And the thing's like it just got to the point where it just wouldn't boot. It'd start up and then it'd go through a little sequence and it'd just restart itself.
Okay.
Almost maybe like a processor shuts down, So
was it a surge maybe?
There was no surge. I mean, it shares the
Okay.
same power supply with the Mac, and that's fine.
Okay.
Everything else on the surge is fine.
Right.
And I know the power supply was dying anyway. So whatever.
So maybe it was a faulty power supply.
So I was looking at okay, let's replace the power supply. So I bought a power supply and put that in there, and it was essentially the same, same power supply, different brand because of that. Okay. And that actually went through and fried all of my hard drives. And so I'm guessing faulty power supply because I plugged everything exactly right. I pushed the power button and the hard drive starts smoking.
Wow.
And so I lost everything on the backup hard drive and my Linux production log.
Wow.
The YouTube production.
Wow.
So
that is not a good day.
No.
Hello, Stephen. Jason K. Yes, KO20. This is the food channel. Well, Tom does have a separate food channel, don't you?
I do. And actually, I recorded a video how to make what I'm making tonight, but some things went wrong with the data, with the footage, and so I'm just going to re-record it down the road when I change my format around. But I am having everything is all homemade here except the ranch dressing. Actually, I don't have the pepper sauce. The pepper sauce is not homemade either, just because I can't find the right type of peppers.
Okay.
But this is a buffalo chicken wrap, all homemade, just amazing. You just make a marinade out of buffalo chicken, like a buffalo sauce marinade, and then put some
nice
onion, peppers, cook that up, and then wrap that up in a homemade flour tortilla.
Because Tim F was asking what's for dinner, I think you were just told.
Yep. Celery sticks, some carrot sticks, and ranch dressing on the side.
Nice.
So,
so are you gonna buy a new PC, build one, buy a refurb, gonna wait? What's the game?
I'm going to rebuild, saving the components that are still usable, which is the case.
Okay.
Hopefully the IC dock, and hopefully the CD drive. I don't have a lot of confidence in those right now, because that was, the CD-ROM was actually plugged into the same thing that the hard drives were, and the IC dock is what took the current to kill. So,
yeah, but if you save components, they'll have that burnt smell still, right?
Yeah, IC dock doesn't smell bad.
Yeah.
So I lost 2 terabytes of drives.
Ooh,
that sucks.
Ooh, yeah, that's a lot.
The power supply company might reimburse me for that. I need to figure that out and get them the rest of the documentation. If they give me hard drives, they give me hard drives. If they give me money, they give me money. Whatever. Fortunately, I can get hard drives for like $40. So.
Okay, so you're planning on scavenging what you can, and okay.
Yep. So we have decided on I'm doing an MSI 350B plus gaming board. Not that I'm a gamer, but that just seems to be what was a good price for the good value. A Ryzen 5 1600, which is a 6-core hyper-threaded. So there's 12 processing cores going on. And that's actually probably going to be about 60 or 70% better than the other one. So, while I don't really want to spend the money, good is the enemy of best, or good is the enemy of great, I guess, is the build business term. So we're just going to rebuild, see what happens.
I've never built a computer. Maybe it's because I've been too lazy to build. I bought a refurb once, which is a good value. If you know what you're shopping for, refurbs are perfectly fine. You can save lots of money, but I haven't built one. If I was going to build or buy one, I think I would look for quad core would probably be fine. 16 gigs of RAM, 3+ gigahertz, a decent graphics card. I don't do a lot of gaming, and that would probably be enough for me. Something something to like render videos somewhat speedily, but it doesn't have to be a $2,000 unit. No.
Well, this is the thing, though, is the way computing works. Like, if you build your computer, you can get about half the price as if you buy it. So,
okay,
I'm going to see what it's going to cost if I were to spec out a computer with about these same stats, and see what it comes out. Because, obviously, I didn't buy a case. I bought everything else. It was like $600.
Okay.
So that's kind of the type of stuff. Let's look at. So I'm going to go to Dell's website. I was going to kind of customize a Dell website.
Okay. All right.
Come up with.
All right.
And while you guys, you go ahead and.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, we got. Let's see here. Gael. Hello, Gael. El Salvador. Welcome. He says, "Hi, I'm not eating now, but a wooden mate guampa is here. Wooden mate guampa. What's a guampa?" Gael. Hello, Tony Simmons. Welcome to the stream. Got my glasses on tonight. Give my eyes a rest. I wear my I normally wear contacts, but about once a week I like to wear my glasses to give my eyes a rest. from wearing contacts. So sorry for the glare in the lenses, but it's not too bad, is it? I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, so welcome all to the stream. This was, I wasn't sure we were going to be on tonight considering Switch had his meltdown. But anyway, we just jumped on here about 5-10 minutes ago.
The closest I can find is an Alienware Aurora.
Okay.
This has the 8th gen Intel, and that's kind of my only option.
Okay.
It is coming up on $3,000.
Okay.
So that has an NVIDIA graphics card, 11 gigabyte. So that's obviously a lot more than I have. Oh, I saved my video card too, which is good because those are getting hard and pricey to find right now. So, and my video card is an ATX Radeon R7 240 with 4 gigs onboard RAM. Okay.
Hello, Horace. Horace says, "What's up with with his 2 favorite YouTubers?" Thank you.
Not a lot, just dinner, and talking about building a computer.
Okay, so which website are you on now again?
That was at Dell.
Okay.
Let me try. Of course, with Dell, you can get a computer configured with Dell, with Linux on Dell. So if you are looking for a Linux friendly company, Dell. I like Dells. I have good luck with them, and you can get Ubuntu Linux installed by default.
Okay. I've never had a Dell. I've heard Dell plays nice with Linux. Like I said, I've had very good luck with ThinkPads and Lenovo. Speaking from my experience, I think if you're a first-time user to Linux coming from Windows, I would probably either do VirtualBox, or lately I've been doing bootable USB sticks to test. But if you can't afford to buy yourself a refurbished, simple ThinkPad or whatever, $250 should be plenty. 4 gigs of RAM should be enough to test probably any Linux distro. That sound about right, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. And right. I generally don't buy new things a lot.
Okay.
And so that's one of those things to keep in mind. Like even the laptop I'm on right now, I'm on a laptop. I paid $300 for this.
That's nice. That's a good price. Yeah.
I upgraded the RAM to 8. I think it had 6 when I got it. I upgraded it to 8.
Okay.
It maxes at 30 or at 16. I'm sorry.
Okay. Yeah. All of my ThinkPads, I don't think I've spent more than between $200 and $250. One of them even originally had XP. That's how old it is. Still rocking. It's still. I mean, it only has 2 gigs of RAM, so I have Linux Spit Mate on that one. But yeah, if you're looking for a refurbished machine to test Linux, 4 gig, you can get away with 2 gigs of RAM with some, but to be safe, buy a machine with 4 gigs of RAM. Dual core is fine, and you should be okay to test Linux on a separate machine, so you have zero chance of messing up your Windows partition. Although you can dual boot, it is safe if you back up everything first. Use Ubuntu-based what I call automatic installers, where it partitions everything for you automatically. But that being said, even if you don't dual boot, you want to back up anyway, because stuff can happen, as what happened to Switch to Linux here. So, but yeah, I've heard good things about Dell also.
Yeah. All right, so here I just went to System 76. I spec'd out as close as I can get to what I'm just building, $1,600
for the one that you want. Okay.
Yeah. Again, I bought the parts for $600, all new.
Okay.
Obviously, I recycling the case, recycling the graphics card.
Well, you're saving some there. At least, let's see, a good graphics card is probably a couple $100. Yeah.
Well, I mean, my graphics card is $70. The case is like $50.
Okay.
So that's all I'm not, and obviously I'm not pricing out the CD-ROM right now. If I need the CD-ROM, I can find that for like $20.
Horace says PC part picker. Okay. I'm not familiar with PC part picker.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's one of the ones where you build your computer. That's the thing, is there's a lot of websites out there now to help you in the process, and they make sure that your parts are compatible, so you can actually run a build through.
Okay.
But I mean, it's becoming easier. There was a time, when I built my first computer, you had to go in there and you had to, you really had to get in there and you had to toggle some things. You might have had to do something special before you started the computer. Anymore, not nearly as much as that.
Yeah.
So it's
Has
just a
anybody
matter of
here
buying
built?
stuff and putting it together.
I wonder if anybody in the chat has ever built a computer.
Mark does it professionally if Mark Yates is on.
I don't think I see Mark, do I?
No,
I don't think so.
Mark Yates, where are you? Where are you, Mark?
But yeah, I've never built one. I guess more out of laziness. But I've gotten pretty good deals on refurbished, which can be almost just as good priced as building one, depending what you're buying. So Horace says you build. Okay, what did you build, Horace? Share it with us if you don't mind. Sub-Zero has built one. Okay, what have you built? And how much, if I may ask, just out of curiosity? Eric has built one. Welcome, Eric. Wow, we got 3 builders in the house. Excellent.
You're getting comments before I am.
Okay. Yeah, let us know what you built and what was the approximate cost, if you don't mind sharing it with us here. Stephen has built 8 in the last 2 years as a hobby. Oh, Horace, triple boots. Is that safe to triple boot? I've never triple booted. Is that safe, Horace?
Sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure I put it all on the same on the same hard disk.
Okay. Well, that's what I was getting on the same. KO 2610 has built his last desktop since '89. Wow, man, we got a bunch of builders here. Jeez, I feel like
I
the
stopped
newbie
building
here.
when I went to college because the unfortunate thing about college is it just drains every bit of time away from you.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
But I'll tell you, if all the stuff we had now was available then, I probably would have went into computers instead of science because I mean, I was extremely gifted at programming. I just didn't do it because it just cost too much money to get a compiler.
Steve Spence has built both hobby and professional. Okay.
Good.
So what's the average price, guys, in the chat? If you build your computer, what would be a good price between what, $6,000 and $1,000 for a high-end PC? Like I said, I've never built one.
Yeah.
So
I'd say high end, you need to go higher than that because the processor alone is going to be quite a bit.
that's true. Okay.
I mean, really, as big and beefy the Ryzen 5 is, it was the lowest higher end processor I could get. So
Okay.
I wasn't going for the cheap stuff. I mean, I went with the Ryzen line, which is a very good line. So I wasn't going for cheap, but I wasn't going for the ultra expensive either.
Okay. So Steve Spence says about 2,000. Sub-Zero says about 1,500. Okay. All right. So if you want a decent computer, when I say decent, something that's fairly fast and rendering videos, so figure about 1,000.
Yep. Building. And then, of course, you can build them a lot nicer with pretty lights and stuff in them, too.
Yes. I've seen those. They look nice. Graphics card account to 40-50%. Really? I guess if it's a high-end graphics card.
In my case, RAM was over half of what I spent.
Okay.
And I didn't even put as much as I wanted. I still want to upgrade.
Wow.
I bought 16 gigs of RAM, and I want to buy another 16. I'm just going to wait a couple months for that. So I'm going to relaunch. I was at 32 gigs of RAM. I'm going to relaunch at 16.
One of my friends just bought a gaming computer for Sunwell Gaming / school computer. I think it was a Dell. I lost track of what he said, but I think it's got 16 gigs of RAM, 3-point-something gigahertz processor. I think he spent about 1,000. A decent graphics card. I mean, it's made for gaming, so I figure about 1,000. So Steven Anderson between 500 and 1,000. Hello, hi, Kagan. Ricardo Jorge spent about 1,200 euros with Ryzen 5 and 1070, 16 gigabyte, 33.2 megahertz. 3,200 megahertz. Okay.
I don't think Ryzen supports that faster speed, though.
Air cooling. Okay. Yeah, I would, I don't know if I would build one or just because I've had pretty good luck with refurbs. So I might just go refurb because it's all built. You save hundreds. You still get a warranty. I might go that way. How
about Craigslist and scrape parts from Craigslist? Get everything you can on Craigslist and just buy a couple key components new.
That's a possibility too. Sure. I like to. I probably would not do that personally. I would buy from like like you said, Dell, Refurb, or something on Amazon, something with a warranty. So I feel a little bit more comfortable buying a refurb. So if I ever got into something wrong with it, I have some recourse to return or exchange it.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I had to spend a few more dollars to have a warranty, I think that's probably the smart way to do it, because it would be something I would use obviously every day. Ricardo says you can run your RAM at about 3,000 megahertz above, and the PC won't boot into the OS. Okay. Sub-Zero says i7 4790K GTX 1070 and 16 gigs of RAM. Okay. All right. Yeah, faster computers, especially when you're rendering videos, definitely come in hand. That's why I try to do videos that don't always require editing and rendering to speed things up. Obviously, with live events, what you see is what you get.
Well, that's kind of why I went with the Ryzen 5, because, I mean, that thing's got 12 processing threads.
Wow.
It's going to be pretty good. Now, the downside is Kdenlive doesn't use multi-threading quite as robustly as it should yet, but they're working on it. It's kind of experimental.
Right. Have you tried, besides Kdenlive, I use Shotcut.
I don't remember if I've tried it or not.
Okay, that seems to render a little faster, at least in my machine.
Well,
and I've had other people say that it's not
faster.
It's not.
Doesn't necessarily mean better, because you can go into Kdenlive, and I can have it render fast. But what happens if you render it too fast is the quality might still be good, but the file size is larger. So if you render it, if you go into Kdenlive and you would make your settings so that you have the slowest rendering, I always render mine the slowest I can, because a slow render gives you a much smaller file size for the quality. And so I don't always look at the speed. What I'd want to do, though, is look at rendering in Kdenlive versus rendering that. I'd take the same exact video, render it in Kdenlive, render it in that under similar settings, and see if it's faster because it's just producing a bigger file size. That's not as good. I would prefer to have a smaller file size because it's storage is a lot cheaper that way.
The nice thing about Shotcut, you have a lot of rendering options, and I've gotten to the point where I've been able to figure out how to render and have the approximate same file size, to give or take, like a few megabytes. And the Shotcut does seem a little bit faster. Now, it's not as robust as Kdenlive, but it doesn't have to be. It's just for simple editing and stuff like that. But it seems a little bit faster. And right now, Shotcut is my backup video editor in Linux, and also in that's what I use in Windows. It works. It just plain works. It's free. Hello, Nikolai. Welcome. He says, enjoy your meal. Yes, he is. I'm going to enjoy my bottled water right now.
I only eat once a day, and it's coming up on
once a day only. Oh, that's not good.
No, it's fine. This whole concept of eating 3 meals a day is a fairly new concept.
Well, to me, I would say that for me, probably the most important meal is breakfast to get me going. If I have a good breakfast, I don't need a big lunch. But they say if you want to keep your weight down, they say the biggest meal should be the morning, the second biggest lunch, and the third biggest dinner. Makes sense.
It depends on what you eat, because if you eat what the American Medical Association wants you to eat, that's actually really bad for your weight, because you're constantly spiking your body with insulin every few hours. Insulin drives fat storage, so that's not necessarily a good way. That's one of the reasons I only eat once a day is, and I keep my carbs to a minimum, because I have virtually no insulin running through my body. My body runs on fat most of the time.
Well, obviously, what you eat's important too, and portions and all that.
Celery sticks and carrots.
There you go. Yeah, for a snack tonight, I had orange. I did not have chocolate or sometimes for a snack I'll eat like dry cereal, like this here.
Oh, that looks good. Never heard of that.
mocha crunch flavored. Anyway, yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's by General Mills. Shout out to General Mills. No, I'm not being sponsored by General Mills, but I'll eat it. I usually go for the crunchy, extra crunchy type of cereal. No milk or no added sugar. It's a great snack. I'll do that versus say a Hershey's, although I love Hershey's with almonds. And then dip that.
Try living not too far from Hershey.
Yeah.
You ever go down to Hershey? They pump chocolate scents into the air down there in the city.
Really?
The street lamps are Hershey Kisses. Oh, it's an amazing place. You gotta go visit it.
Wow. Oh, so does that scent in the air?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay.
Huge amusement park there, so it's a good place. And then you can tour the old chocolate factory.
Nice. I've never been there. So you are fairly close to Hershey's?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
One of the things I like about Hershey is they're a small endowment-run company that keeps on refusing being bought out by big companies. And I'm going to support Hershey as much as they're going to fight against the big corporate takeovers.
Okay.
Now,
nice.
I think Nestle is trying to do something in State College. Which I'm not all that happy about. I mean,
okay.
Nestle's a pretty ugly corporation if you get into the depth of it all.
Okay.
They're trying to do something might be like, I don't know why, but something regarding like the water or something.
Interesting.
No idea.
Okay. Horace, no, I do not work in the IT field. I was in and out of management, but I do not. I mean, I talk about technology and information. Kagan says there was a guy was in boot camp who moved here from Northern Ireland, and his family ate one big evening meal. Luck of the Irish, an Irish meal once a day. Very good. Yeah, I prefer to have 3 meals. Breakfast to me seems to be the most important. If I don't eat breakfast, then come lunch, I'm just like hungry and overeating. It's not good. It's not good. I've noticed too that to keep my weight down at my age, this month I'll be 57 here in a week, March 24. Staying away from sodas seems to help. That high fructose corn syrup and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. I mean, if you just have 1 or 2 sodas a week, it's no big deal. But there were times I was having 1 a day, and it adds up. I feel bloated.
I've had 1 soda this year, I think, so far.
Just
one? Well, yeah, just 1.
Nice.
So, I think I had a couple around Christmas too, but that was last year.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I used to drink a lot, but
yeah, no, I prefer to drink bottled water normally. If I hadn't had a Pepsi or Coke in a while, sometimes on my life I'll have a Coke with me, but usually water.
I like drinking water out of my cool Switch Links water bottle. You can get it shop.switchlinks.com.
There you go. That's right. You can check out check out Switch to Linux on Patreon if you want to support the channel.
I'm on patreon.com/Tom M.
I did put that link below in the show notes. Yes.
Yep.
Excellent.
And I can't see it. I still can't search Patreon and find me. I can search Patreon and find Techno Bismol, but I can't find me.
Well, you know what? I had Patreon. I actually had it twice. I had it right after they first came out, but I didn't know if it was legit or anyway. So I canceled, and then one of my subscribers says, "No, it's legit. Go back to Patreon." So I did, but then they went through that thing back in December. Then they changed their mind. I just got off of Patreon, but it certainly works for some people, but it's not for everyone. I just went back to PayPal, guys. So if you want to support this channel, PayPal. Worldwide, simple. It's not complicated. Horace says eat 5 to 6 times a day. Woo. But small meals, okay. All right.
It depends on what's in the meal.
Well, if you eat small meals, then I guess that's okay.
No, it doesn't matter because it's 5 to 6 times a day and you're eating carbohydrate-heavy meals. You're constantly spiking your body with insulin. Insulin has one task, and it's to keep blood sugar out of the body by processing it into the fat storage.
I guess look, we're not, this is not a medical channel. So if you're not sure, talk to your doctor. I would say talk to a nutritionist, a food specialist. Tell him or her your eating habits and let that food specialist tell you where you should be in terms of your BMI, body mass index, your height, your weight, your age, and let that person tell you where you should be. Or just go to the Cleveland Clinic. Everything is done there. It's a great facility. It's about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive from here, but they'll tell you everything. Hello, Sneaky. He says, morning, geezers. Morning, UK geezer. Horace had chicken breast and broccoli. Ah, that sounds healthy and tasty. Sure.
Yeah.
I went out last night. I had met some friends downtown. I had crab cakes. I had fried zucchini. It was fried. It wasn't healthy, but boy, it tastes good. Then I had a Diet Coke, several Diet Cokes. Then my friends had some wedding soup and stuff like that. But the crab cakes I haven't had in a while. It's pretty good. I don't know if they're healthy. But the fried zucchini dipped in, Italian sauce was very tasty. Very tasty. But chicken breast without the skin is fine. Is less fattening. Although I sometimes eat drumsticks with the chicken. Especially with buffalo hot sauce. Yummy. Kagan says he struggles with fried okra.
Ooh. No, that's not too bad.
I know, Horace says, now you're making me hungry. Hey, I didn't start this, Horace. It was a switch.
It's my fault.
Yeah. So, Gael says, fried? I don't eat fried food since 2016. Very good. Because that's a lot of grease, and I don't want to eat chicken and broccoli. Yeah, when I lived in Florida, I had one of those deep fryers. Now, what I would do, I would grab some potatoes, like a 5-pound bag, wash them, and chop them up with the knife, and made like circle fries or whatever, and just dump them with the skin and all in the fryer, and then. Once that was done, I didn't use salt. I used paprika to give it seasoning. And man, they taste, especially come out of the fry with that seasoning, it just hits the spot. Have you ever tried that?
No, I'm not. I mean, I did have a friend from Manchester, England, who used to make his own French fries, homemade French fries.
Okay.
That was good.
A small deep fryer, some potatoes, wash them, get all the dirt and stuff off. Cut them up like circles, as I call them. Dump them in there until you see them turn brown. Don't overcook them. You don't want them crispy. You take them out, sprinkle paprika. I'm telling you, man, and no salt. It's awesome. 13 years Army vet, so I work out even when I'm doing nothing. Okay, good. Yeah, well, obviously, diet and exercise. Exercise is very important. I should have went to the gym today, but I didn't. But obviously,
I've been out most of the week from computer explosions myself.
Well, if you don't eat right, all the exercise in the world is not going to help you. So start with the diet first, and then combine that with the exercise, and you will see results. At least that's how I see it. I try to avoid fried snacks. Sometimes I do. But it's mainly, having sensible snacks, like instead of, potato chips, orange, or celery sticks and cream cheese. Yummy.
Yeah, I'm not a huge cream cheese fan personally, but there's a few things I use it in, but not much. But
awesome.
I prefer the ranch dressing. Celery and carrots and the ranch dressing. That's good.
Sometimes I'll make a salad. I'll eat it plain. No salt, no dressing, although it's kind of too plain. Most of the time, I'll use dressing.
Anna Rita, you missed us making you hungry. I just finished dinner, Anna. You'll have to come back and watch the rest of it. I mean, always complaining about it's making them hungry. Now, did you watch my video yesterday? I had my homemade Cheez-Its because it's couch potato edition.
I caught bits and pieces of it to get it. Bits and pieces, Cheez-Its. Yeah, no,
but should we talk about some Linux today? I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, this is a switch to diet.
Switch to food.
All right, so now that Switched is stopped eating, we were talking about his ordeal.
Computer builds, yeah. So I guess okay. I can rebuild from fresh. So I'm just going to go back to Linux Mint Cinnamon because that is zero problems. Of all of the problems I've had, it hasn't been the operating system. So I'm not changing that. Of course, completely different processor, board, and everything else. Who knows? We'll see.
And Arita says, "Damn you, Tom! I'm on a diet."
Well, Hey, I was eating celery sticks and carrots. Just forget about the other thing I was eating. Just celery sticks and carrots.
Awesome.
So I'm going to do that. However, I am going to make a change to the backup computer.
Okay.
Because what I have realized is that sorry, man, I've been having issues with Ubuntu Mate. And so when I rebuild the backup computer, I am not doing Ubuntu Mate this time.
Which one? 1710 or 1604?
1604. And the
really?
issues
with the LTS.
Yeah, the issues I've been having problems with is like, one of the things I need to do is sometimes rip a DVD or something. And I found that I was actually under the assumption for a long time that my DVD drive just sucked because I just get cheap ones for that. Well, it wasn't the DVD drive. It was something in Ubuntu. So same exact computer, booted off a Linux Mint, no problems. So I had that, and then I had a few other issues with which might have been Mate specifically related.
Okay.
Just some things just not working as well as I would have liked. And so I'm gonna dump Ubuntu Mate for my backup system.
Did you try the forum? Did you post on a forum, on the Ubuntu Mate forum?
No, I couldn't remember any of the specific things that I was having issues with. It's just little tiny things here and there that were kind of annoying.
It could happen. Yeah, I mean, I was looking for a replacement for an app. I went into the Ubuntu Mate website. I got a reply within 24 hours. They were I got multiple replies, very friendly. I know sometimes the Linux community can be hostile, but I got a very friendly reply, and it worked out for me. But yeah, I mean, Linux sometimes can be unpredictable.
Yeah,
with hardware. I'm not talking about computers with pre-installed Linux. That's not what I'm talking. I'm talking where you download a distro and experiment and all that. Obviously, if you buy a Dell or a System 76, it should work out of the box. If it doesn't work, you send it back. But yes, it can happen. Yes, yeah.
So I'm not sure what I'm going to do on that. I might try Linux Mint Mate to see if that would give me something better. I need to have something that has that same type of build. Like I liked the Ubuntu Mate, the build that I had, but I just had enough issues with it that I said, I'm just not going to go back to that again.
I do have Linux Mint also. That's on my gateway. I have the Mate on that one.
So
okay.
I kind of want to run Mate over there. It's just I want to have a panel on the bottom. I want to have a panel on the top. I've grown accustomed to how Ubuntu Mate puts itself together. Okay. And so I kind of want to keep some of that formatting. But we'll see what happens. Of course, I do.
Yeah. I do like the panel changer in the Ubuntu. You got like the 6 or 7 different options. That's kind of friendly and convenient if you're tired of the look. I like the mutiny look, as Martin calls it, for Ubuntu Mate. But really, Ubuntu Mate, Linux Mint Mate are fairly close. It's a matter of aesthetics and customizations. They're both good. Yeah, I'm
thinking Mint because I'm going to have better codecs. I think is the difference I'm going to encounter.
Could be.
That might be, and since that's one of the key tasks of that computer is cataloging my DVD sermons when they come in. Which I'm the pastors on those don't care if you make the copy of those. So ripping those, great. Works great over there. But I was just having too many issues with Ubuntu Mate without, and I thought for a long time it was just the drive, but it wasn't. It was that. So I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Yeah.
I just want to see. And I'm thinking, do I want to try a completely different branch or X or something? I don't know. That might be a good one to try as well as MX Linux.
I'm going to be testing that one after I finish testing Ubuntu Mate 1804.
One of the things I need is disk encryption on install. Anyone know, is MX Linux support full disk encryption on the install?
Isn't that fairly standard with most, at least the ones that I've tested? They seem to have that option. Maybe not. I don't use that.
Well,
but
the Ubuntu installer is, obviously what I've used in the past. I think I remember that option, but I can't remember for sure.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat here watching know, does MX Linux support full disk encryption out of the box?
All I remember is testing MX Linux in a virtual machine, and it ran smooth. It seemed to be user friendly out of the box. I like the welcome. It's like their version of a welcome screen and the categories and how to get started. Very nice. That's how a distribution should be done. Of course, Linux Mint has a welcome screen, Ubuntu Mate, and really for beginners, really that's all they need. Just go to categories, maybe not all in one day, and just start reading. It's almost like grabbing a book. Just read it little by little. It took me years probably to be super comfortable with Linux in general. I mean, I started off in '06 just reading something out of Popular Science. And through many bootable CDs and DVDs, trial and error, I finally got comfortable to where I am now. But it does require patience. You will make mistakes. That is normal. And obviously, if you're a newbie, you know, don't pick Arch or Gentoo and all that. Nothing wrong with those if you know what you're doing. But yeah, if you stick to my top 5 or Switch's top 5 for beginners, you should be. And I think we're on the same page as far as top 5. I think you and I both like Linux Mint, Ubuntu Mate, Peppermint OS.
Yeah. Just going is anybody seeing Total OS, or is it just me on the screen? I'm kind of monitoring on the side. I don't think anyone's seeing you at all. Something's wrong with the auto switcher.
Yeah, might be. Yeah, I think it's not switching back. Maybe it's something I did. I don't know.
Hey, I see you.
Okay, all right. I'm doing it manually, but okay. Anarita says my wife is now using Linux Mint and Cinnamon and Ubuntu Mate, and she says she cannot decide which to go with. She loves Ubuntu Mate. Use what works.
Yeah. I mean, if I wasn't doing the video and stuff, I'd probably stick with it. It's just that's one of the core functions of that particular computer, and I can't constantly be moving to something else for that computer.
Ubuntu Mate, I think, will be a little bit lighter and faster than Cinnamon, for at least for my tests. Not by much, but it is. I mean, it is. Yeah.
It goes on top of my new, soon to be new Razer.
Okay.
Arisen 6 core thing, so I'm not all that concerned with the speed. Okay. I could run GNOME on that thing and it'd be fine.
Yeah, if you have enough RAM, it won't matter. But if you have 2 gigs of RAM, you probably don't want to use GNOME. Yeah. Other than that, I think either one. Cinnamon should be okay with 2 gigs of RAM, right? For an older machine, I think. I know Ubuntu Mate will.
Cinnamon actually does take more RAM. Cinnamon's slightly less than GNOME. I think Cinnamon's probably the second highest RAM usage.
Okay. All right.
I'm not 100% sure of that, but that sounds about right. I know it's definitely, it's not the lightest system out there for sure.
All right. Sticky says, as far as I am aware, it does not support it on install. But to be honest, I can't remember. Okay, I don't remember either. Damn small Linux for 2 gigs of RAM. You could damn small Linux. I think I tested that years ago. Well, that is super fast, but it's
perfect on 2 gigs. I mean, my netbook, one of my writing computers, is 2 gigs of RAM, and I run Peppermint on there, and it behaves just as well as any computers.
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew, you have 12 gigs of RAM.
Yeah, and using XFCE.
Yeah, that's true. It's like quick go. Yeah. Put on your seatbelts for that one. That's how fast that one is.
The thing loads the window before you click the icon.
It's like it reads your finger going to the button. Oh, I just changed. I didn't even touch it.
Well, not if you're running my session replay blocker script, but if you're not running my session replay blocker script, it knows right where you're going.
Mint XFCE, it will do fine on 2 gigs of RAM. That is true. Lubuntu is good. LXLE, that's kind of like the forgotten obscure Linux. That's awesome with that a lot of RAM. I've tested that is really a nice looking lightweight. You know, for a lightweight distro, they've done a pretty good job jazzing it up with a lot of extra stuff on there. It's really nice. Nicky says Puppy Linux. Okay, that could probably go for as little as 1 gig of RAM.
Maybe. Yeah, that's my kitty uses. My kitty uses Puppy Linux. You want to come say hi, kitty? Come say hi? He's like, no, I'm comfortable, man. I ain't going anywhere.
I don't blame the kitty.
Like, yeah.
So, let's see. Yeah, I think somebody mentioned about how much. I figure for a decent, well, if you go low-end computer, probably 500 for something decent. Higher than low, we'll say about 1,000. But look, if you're not going to do gaming or any high-end video rendering, $500 is fine. It's plenty, in my opinion. In fact, I would just buy a new one for $500, really, and or maybe even a refurb if you're not going to do like video editing, gaming. When you go into the video part of it, editing and gaming, you're probably looking closer to the $1,000 side for something fast.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, gaming is going to take quite a bit more.
Yeah. Right.
Watt or Bodhi?
Those are lightweight distros, but I don't think I've tested it. Yeah.
Bodhi, if I remember correctly, I think Bodhi is based on Enlightenment, isn't it? It was pretty cool.
Is that the one where you have to right click on the desktop to get the menu?
You don't have to. Yes. You right click on the desktop. The menu is an option in there. What I liked about Enlightenment is it had a lot of really cool, fun features to it. And we always like KDE, really. I mean, a lot of fun features and things. A little bit clunkier. It's still kind of in development, but it worked actually pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, XFCE and Mate should be fine for lightweight GUI. About the heaviest thing I've ever tested, I actually think there was something heavier than the GNOME desktop. It was something recent too. I think you and I tested it.
Windows Vista.
yeah, really. No, that would do fine with 4 gigs, not a problem.
No, this is true.
You and I tested, and it needed a lot of RAM.
It wasn't Xturn, was it?
Was it Xturn? Maybe it was. I can't remember.
The blurry looking one, the one with the big EULA at the beginning.
Maybe that was it.
I can't remember how much that took.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe that was it. And I was like, because I remember the requirement was at least 4 gigs of RAM. Even GNOME, you can get it moving with 2 gigs. But I think that may be the one.
GNOME takes like 1.1 gig, I think.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Maybe it was the one you just mentioned where out of the box, you need 4 gigs, period, or more. I'm like, no, thank you.
I think it was Xturn OS.
Okay.
So I remember people leaving me comments like, "4's a lot of RAM. Isn't a lot of RAM these days." Like, no, it's still actually. I mean, if I go to the store and get a low end computer, it usually has between 4 and 6. I think.
Yeah, nowadays,
it's closer to the 6, but I mean, I think the computer I just got for co-host, I think has 6 gigs of RAM in it.
Okay. Yeah, 6 should be plenty to test anything out there, even Windows. Hello, Timo. How are you?
Even Windows 10 though takes a whole lot less RAM than it used to. I mean, Windows 10 takes more RAM than 7. Now, unfortunately, they've made it run a whole lot slower because of things hard drive and network connections are constantly peaking. But the operating system itself doesn't take as much RAM. It just But anytime I take if I take a Windows 10 computer and it's off the internet, it's fine. As soon as you put a Windows 10 computer on the internet, it just starts moving like molasses as it's making thousands of connections all over the world, spreading data all over the place, and then spinning up the hard drive. I cannot figure it out.
Well, you and I talked about this. I think the Windows 10, the core technology behind it is fine. It's the politics that we don't really agree with. But if it didn't have the politics, or they were transparent up front, this is what we are going to do.
Well, even if they were, even if they were transparent, I'd be like, no. Give me the option to turn it off. Or better yet, make it off by default. Allow me to turn it on if I want to. Maybe give me a perk to turn it on. I'm okay with that.
Because that's completely your choice. Right?
It's what and it's how. It was just a non-negotiable for me.
Well, some Linux distros, such as what I use and what you use, have gone to the point where they are good. And right now, Windows is my backup OS when I do this stuff. Where before it was the opposite, especially 10 years ago, I had to go with Windows. But nowadays, 2018, as we are recording this, some Linux has gotten better. Now, Linux in general, if we talk about the whole Linux universe, it's not easy because you have to include Gentoo and Arch. And there's so many variables and forks. So general as a whole may not be easy. Specific Linux desktops are absolutely easy to learn. And credit to the developers. With me, I started off with Ubuntu back in 06. It wasn't quite ready for prime time, but it got better and better. From then, I went to Linux Mint to Zorn OS. They're still around. Zorn is great. I like Zorn Lite for beginners. My hat's off to Zorn because that got me even more comfortable with Linux. I think it's because their core system looked like Windows. It's not. But if you feel comfortable, you'll have the incentive to learn more. So hats off to Zoran. But right now, I'm comfortable with Ubuntu Mate because everything seems to work out of the box for me. Your mileage may vary, but Linux Mint seems to work out of the box. Right now, Ubuntu GNOME, which is not my favorite desktop environment, with 4 gigs of RAM, and my Toshiba works pretty nice out of the box. Still not zippy, even with 4 gigs, but it works and it's stable. And the specific apps that I've installed seem to work, and that's a bonus. So specific Linux distros have gotten much, much better over the years, and hats off to all the developers to make it easier, not just for newbies, but for everybody. I mean, who wants to make things harder? And Arita says you use Linux because it does things that are easier, faster. Okay. It just makes more sense. Windows not so much as installation programs. Linux rocks, and Windows pain in the butt. Okay. Yeah. The only, putting aside the politics in Windows, the only thing, if there is one thing I hate worse than the politics, is the update process in Windows. Wait, reboot, wait, reboot. So archaic.
So, 3 hours later, you might be able to get your work done.
I haven't had an upgrade process crash or nothing. It's been stable to their credit, but the process, it isn't like Linux and whatever you use. Okay, check for software updates, type in your password, in one fell swoop, done. You may have to reboot once. Oh, the agony and the torment. Once.
Yep.
Never had to reboot twice.
Something else we need to say on that line, on that topic, is that it may seem more complicated at first if you are on Windows looking to move to Linux, because it's different. And anytime something is different, it automatically for us seems harder. And that's the argument I'm always making between GIMP and Photoshop. I mean, understand, I am proficient and possibly expert in both GIMP and Photoshop. Okay. And, having been inside of Photoshop for so long as a developer, and then saying, well, I need to move to Linux, let's start learning how to use GIMP. For the first year and a half, I could not get anything to work because it's like, it feels clunky. Now, GIMP is so easy for me to use. And the reason is it's just different. And so we talk about, like Anna Rita talks about, the installation. Yeah, the installation on Linux is way better than the installation on Windows. If you were completely fresh, had no experience in either of them, and you say, come to the table and say, which one is easier? Linux, absolutely.
Yeah, right.
But if you take a person who's been in the Windows system for 20 years and then say, move to Linux, it's so much easier. Look at this, go, this isn't easy. Well, it's because it's just different. You're used to the way it worked before. And that's the thing. If you're looking to switch to Linux, the first thing you should do is not abandon your entire system. The first thing that you should absolutely do is you start by finding replacement applications that are cross-platform. So you want to make the move to Linux. Download LibreOffice on your Windows computer because it works across all of the operating systems. Kdenlive works across all the operating systems. OBS works on all the operating systems. Download and look for alternative applications and figure out how to use them, and push yourself to learn how to use them. And then when you get all those free and open source software packages, you'll look back and after a year or so and go, why was I ever paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for software packages?
Some people have to use Windows because they like to game, and gaming is better on Windows even today.
Other than those issues, you get those. Sometimes you have a job where you have to have it, which is good, and you need to keep that going. But what I'm sick of hearing, honestly, is it's just harder. No, it's just different. You need to take the time to figure it out.
I think it's always hard at the beginning because it's new.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that'll pass. And because it's, back in 06, I don't think there was any Linux distro that was, quote, Windows friendly ready back then. It really, well, that's why it took me years to get comfortable. But nowadays, you can download, like Linux Mint, Ubuntu Mate, Peppermint. It should not take you years to get really, truly comfortable. It should months, if that. Of course, that depends on much time. If you just use it once a month, it might take you years. But if you spend a little time every day, well, maybe not every day, maybe take a weekend off or something from Linux, but learn to spend a little time, go to channels like Minor Switches. And nowadays, I think YouTube is pleasantly saturated with Linux channels. That was not the case 10 years ago, in my opinion. That's why I started this channel for newbies. But if you take the time and pick the correct Linux-based operating system, don't pick Arch in the beginning. Don't pick Gentoo or BSD or whatever. Not in the beginning, but now once you get comfortable and want to move on, that's fine. But if you pick the wrong distro in the beginning, you will say Linux sucks because you wasn't quite informed or somebody gave you the wrong advice. I've messed with Arch-based with Manjaro. It wasn't for me, but I gave it a shot at least for a few months, a few summers ago. But there were just one too many bugs, and I gave up. I just got tired of fixing things.
Yeah, I just ran a Manjaro for a couple months ago, and it was amazingly smooth.
Yeah. Well, a couple summers ago, I tried it. In the beginning, it was smooth, then quirky. I knew I was in trouble, Tom, when I tried to play an audio CD and it wouldn't play. And then Spatry, yeah, Spatry, when Spatry's come, gee, Toss, you're still playing audio. I said, that's not the freaking point. Can you imagine if I bought a new Windows or downloaded Windows and it wouldn't play an audio? How much crap would you guys give me on the news and nonsense?
Well, I mean, you say that, but you buy a new Windows, it can't play a DVD by default because they stripped the DVD codecs out of Windows. You have to buy the application to use them now.
That I didn't know. Okay.
Yeah, as of Windows 8, they pulled DVD codecs out, and to play a DVD, you have to have some other application. Now, many of your store-bought computers, of course, if you can even find a computer with a DVD-ROM, many of your store-bought computers, your not as much your Dells never had quite as much bloatware, but your HPs, your Lenovo's, they all came with software pre-installed that you could play a DVD with.
Okay.
But it used to be back in XP days, back in Vista days, back in 7 days, you could drop a DVD in and push play on Windows Media Player, and it'd play with that because they had DVD codec.
I play DVDs usually in one of my Xbox machines. Not a problem. Normally when I do play it.
Yeah, and I don't think they pull them from those. Like if you still had an Xbox One, I'm pretty sure it still play DVDs. Actually, I know it does because that one will play specifically DVDs and Blu-rays.
Okay.
What's your thought on Ubuntu Studio? Horace asks.
I think I tried it once. For me, it had a lot of stuff I would never use. Like I think it's mainly audio centric. I think
it's all creative centric. So tons of applications and all things: audio, video, desktop publishing, things like that.
Right. It's I you know what? Kden Live for editing, Shotcut as a backup, GUVC for the webcam. Kazam, simple screen recorder, OBS. That's all I need. Okay, maybe Audacity something, but that's it. So I didn't need Ubuntu Studio with the extra stuff.
Yeah, but I wanted. I like it. I wanted to run it on my friend's computer because he's into that content creation, like just a variety of different things, music and in animation, all that kind of stuff. But unfortunately, we could not get it running on his computer. This is an AMD computer with an NVIDIA drivers in it, an NVIDIA dedicated card. Could not get it running, so we ended up dropping down to Linux Mint because it worked. And then all the applications he needed from Studio. I mean, all Studio is just honestly it's a big bloated Ubuntu, but it's a big bloated Ubuntu that you might need that bloat. And the other cool thing is you can select the type of bloat. You can say, well, I am into advanced audio production, and I don't care about anything else. You just click the button and it'll reinstall everything, which has more stuff than I know what to do with. For sure.
You know what? It's a matter of convenience to have all the apps ready. It's kind of like Zorin. You can get the free Zorin Core, Zorin Lite, or Zorin Ultimate. You pay. It's not a lot. It's like 10, 15 euros. But everything is in there. So they do the work for you. So that's fair. That's fair. I've tested both the regular core Zorin and Zorin Ultimate, and they're both nice. You know, if you are a total beginner, I'm just mentioning Zorin, maybe you should go for the Ult because everything you might need is there already installed for you, pre-configured.
And I believe the Ultimate is a purchase, isn't it? You have to pay for
yeah, it's not that much. You know, you don't have to buy the Ult. Yeah, something like that.
And one of the things that you get with the Ultimate is you get the extra template. So if you want to set up like a Mac and you want to set up like a Windows, whatever else, Ultimate has all those built in. So Zorin is a really nice distro for beginners.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, Zorin is. I prefer the Lite since I switched to GNOME. It's not my favorite desktop. It looks nice. It works. It's just not for me. So I would go with the Lite if you will go. Have you tested Zorin, the core system?
It's been a long time since I've looked at Zorin.
Okay.
I know I've looked at it before. It's been a while.
I've tested the Lite, the Ultimate, and the Core. They're all fine. You know, I mean, if you like GNOME, it's fine, but I prefer the Lite version. It's easier, especially if you don't have a lot of RAM. If you have less than 4 gigs, I probably would not go with GNOME. Just my opinion. ZBD's in the house. Morning. It's morning for you, Z. You are 5 hours ahead of us. It is 10:05 p.m. here. But welcome, Z. How are you? The real nice thing is that Linux teaches you how to use a computer where Windows doesn't. I don't know if Linux we teach you. I don't know. Well, I suppose with the welcome screens, not screams. Although I suspect Switch was doing a lot of screaming yesterday. Where's my computer? Oh
well.
I think I switched the automatic camera switching now. Anyway.
Hey, looks good.
All right. It is 2 a.m. there, Z, so you are 4 hours ahead. I guess. Okay. All right. I guess the hour ahead hasn't affected you guys yet. Did we miss any important comments? I knew we were yapping and
I'm just kind of glancing through some discussion back and forth.
Okay. Okay.
Steve Bennett just says VLC. I'm guessing that's a reference to the codec.
Okay, that might
on Windows. Yeah. You have Windows. You need to play DVDs. Absolutely, install VLC, and there you go.
Yeah.
Power of open source.
Yes.
Things. Let's see. Yeah, I think that got us kind of caught up to where we were. Like Ubuntu Studio because it comes with the extras. I don't have to go to the media app install. Yep, and that's the reason you'd use it is if you need all that stuff.
Linux can be a blessing and a nightmare at the same time. Anna Rita, that is true. If you pick the wrong desktop, or if you pick the right one, quote, one, and has bugs.
I'm feeling that with Ubuntu Budgie right now. It is not nearly as streamlined as it should be. It's beta, but it's not working quite so good.
Z says clocks change next week. Okay. I tried Ubuntu Budgie. I thought it's nice out of the box, but I was thinking about the same issue with the clock thing that kind of drove me nuts. I didn't say nothing because I wanted, but it's like, where do I get rid of this or change the screen? You know what? That's it. I'm done. So I deleted Ubuntu because of the stupid clock.
It wasn't intuitive, and the downside with that clock is there's no way to change it to. I mean, I wanted to have the clock there. I wanted to toggle it AM PM. Can't do it. Yeah, I mean, you can move it. But that's about all you could do with it. And you could toggle on off the whatever. So I just decided not to do that. Now, the problem I was having, which some people have said they had it and some people said they didn't, is Plank. Plank was not working right. I could not drag. I couldn't drag icons to it. I couldn't right click and add an icon to it. I had no real ways to get it. But I took Plank off.
Okay.
I took Plank off. I put Cairo on, and I had not the same exact problems, but some.
We mentioned MX17, and that comes pre-built with the Conky, right, on the desktop. I like their very newbie-friendly Conky switcher app, or like whatever it's called. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Coming from a Windows user, that's how you do it. Conky by itself, configuring or doing is not user or like newbie-friendly. But that app that comes pre-installed, Switch, is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And they should have had the Ubuntu Budgie clock app ready to go.
Well, I mean, they had the problem is, I think, is that they didn't know where else to put it, so they attached it to a panel, which is not intuitive because that's how you adjust the panel. What happens when I have two panels? Well,
yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. There should have been a separate, if they wanted to do something like that, that is an applet that doesn't sit on one particular panel, you should have a separate spot for those.
Okay.
So that's what kind of made it kind of unintuitive. Now I've really enjoyed Budgie the other places that I've used it. I really liked it when I put Budgie on Linux Mint. I really liked Budgie on Manjaro. It was great. But there's just something goofy with the Ubuntu, and it's possibly just because it's a beta. I don't know yet.
It might be. I mean, it looks nice out of the box, but they're all. I mean, if I was going to drop Ubuntu Mate, I'll probably go back to Linux Mint, but I would probably give MX17 a shot as my main daily OS. Because I just like the way it makes it newbie friendly out of the box. Because that's based on Debian stable, right? I'm not mistaken.
Which one? MX? Yes.
Yeah, I think it's okay. So that should be stable enough for newbies. But if not for Ubuntu Mate or Linux Mint, I would probably go to MX17. If I felt extensions would work all the time in GNOME, I might make Ubuntu. There I say Ubuntu again, my daily machine.
Except some of the extensions don't work correctly in Ubuntu.
And that's why, and I don't like this guessing game. I installed Ubuntu in that Toshiba. I tried to download 4 extensions, 2 work, but it's the 2 that I really wanted. One was the media player extension drop-down menu, from the top bar. And something, how to change themes of all freaking things. Really? But that'll stay in my Toshiba. That's for testing and, like playing around with. But MX17 might be my third. Maybe that in Peppermint OS. But I like the way MX17 has loaded it, but it doesn't feel bloated. Loaded, but not bloated,
Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe I'll try MX for my backup computer. I just need to get that question answered. Does it have full disk encryption on install, which I can certainly test in a VirtualBox.
Yes. Or maybe go to the website and just ask a question on the forum. Luckily, there's been talk about, unfriendly forums. Luckily, I haven't had that issue. Of course, I usually try to find out the solution myself. And
that's what I would likely do anyway.
And Arita says, I hate extensions with a passion. Are we talking hair extensions or are we talking about?
I'm thinking GNOME extensions. I mean, that's how I'm reading it. But it could be hair extensions too.
It could be.
Hey, Kitty, do you like hair extensions? He's like, no, I don't care.
Kagan's tried Fedora today. You like it so far, but your laptop has MX17 LXDE, idles at 290 megabytes of RAM. I think that's what Peppermint OS does, around that much.
Yep, right about there.
Yeah, and there's another one that idles, and maybe LXLE. I can't remember. But they're all good choices. Fedora I tried a couple times, wasn't for me.
Yeah. I have a Ubuntu install that I use for my banking stuff, which that's actually not working as well as it should. In fact, it was working so not well the other day. I made a full backup of everything just in case. Log into it now, and the mouse doesn't work. Now that was on the old computer, so maybe there's just the motherboard's just been in the process of dying.
Maybe that was a clue. It was a hint.
Yeah, I mean, because it was weird because the mouse wouldn't work. So I'm like, what's going on? And so I take the mouse out, I put the mouse into the front USB port, still doesn't work, but I used a different mouse and it worked fine. Like, what's going on here? But I'm noticing that it takes longer and longer to boot up and things like that. And so it's kind of weird. So what I was thinking of doing is just incorporating my banking as part of my Cubes install, because that's kind of what Cubes is for anyway.
Yeah, sometimes even with the Windows machine, if you sense that it's going bad, the hard drive, not the board, but you sense it and you can't log in or you can't boot in, you can create. I had this with a friend of mine. He had a Windows 8 machine or Windows 7, I can't remember. But the hard drive went bad, but he had important documents. So I created a USB bootable stick with Linux Mint. I was able to access the Windows partition, the Windows drive of the machine, just to get those specific documents and save it for him. Then we went to the local Office Max and bought a simple hard drive. But Linux sometimes has extra features, uses that you may not know about if you are a beginner, or maybe an advanced user never knew about that. But Linux can save you, especially if your hard drive.
Actually, that's exactly the case I had on that Windows 8 computer the other day, because it was doing weird stuff, couldn't get into it. And of course, they've crippled the ability to get into the diagnostics on Windows. Like, I don't know who in the world at Microsoft thought this was a good idea, but, oh, you need to access the system diagnostics. Then when you're in there, go into the settings and click the thing to reboot it. Dude, it won't boot. So what do? So, you know, Debian to the rescue. I was running the computer off Debian. I accessed the drive and took a backup of every file that was on that Windows 8 computer.
Or I don't think we mentioned. I think I may have mentioned on my side of on my channel. But let's say you have a viruses, spyware that makes your computer really slow. Maybe you can't access your folders. Sometimes, again, you create a Linux Mint or whatever, a Linux bootable stick. You know, reboot with that and access your folders that way, which bypasses the viruses. I think it does, and get all your important, folders out of there. Then reinstall Windows. It's certainly possible.
Or you could actually just create a live key, install ClamAV, and clean it.
Ah, okay, yeah. I mean, although I've noticed in the past, luckily lately and Windows 10 in general, in terms of viruses, it seems to me like I'm not talking privacy, but security against viruses seems pretty solid.
I agree.
They've done a good job in trying to keep as much of the nasties out with the built-in Windows Defender. That's all I use. I think I installed the VAST as a backup, but Windows Defender, as long as you don't have a pirated, computer or anything, they've done a good job. I will say that. But in the past, before, especially Windows XP, and I had the nasties in there, I would create a USB stick, get my stuff out of it, and just it's faster. In the past, it was faster to reinstall Windows XP than it was to try to clean out all the nasties, reboot. Think you got them all? You don't.
And then they repopulate themselves.
Yeah, that's why in the past I had to use a VAST, because it would do a boot time scan and catch the nasties before. But again, Windows 10, look, politics aside, Windows 10 against virus is awesome. Kagan says, Tio has timely offered support today. You're welcome. That'll be $500. Thank you.
Yep. There you go. Yeah. We're splitting that, right?
Yes.
Lamer Linux, I remember before Windows fully boot, you hit the key. It was at the F8 key, not the F9 key.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. What time? Okay, so we're going to wrap this up here shortly, I think. it's been about an hour or so, which is usually plenty.
Hour 15 or so.
Right, so any other final last call for comments, as I say?
Hey, kitty. Come on, kitty. Come on. Of course, he's not going to come, but he's going to roll over and look really cute and be like, no, you come over here and pet my belly.
Oh, jeez. He's saying, toss is on. I don't want to see that Italian guy. Meh.
All right.
Hi, kitty.
What I have to deal with. I mean, look at this guy.
Hi, kitty.
He's like, oh, here he is. Now he's coming. He's like, all right, I'll come. Come on.
Your little putty cat.
Come on, buddy. He wants to come say hi to you.
You see, man? Little putty cat.
Come on. There you go.
Hello, Joe Panico's in the house.
People want to say hi to you.
Joe, maybe we'll have you on the stream next week. What do you think? Hi, kitty.
Yeah. You think, buddy, huh?
Hey, kitty.
Hey, kitty. He is like so clueless to the fact that he's an internet famous cat. I mean, yep, that's right. Right, buddy?
My raccoon is internet. My stuffed animal raccoon.
Yeah.
Notice it has the Windows colors.
Nice, yeah. What Linux distro has blue as colors? Fedora, doesn't it?
I think Zorin, doesn't it have some blue? I can't remember.
Oh, there you go.
Kagan says, I'll send you an IOU in a bag of Crockett Creek beef jerky. Oh, you know what? Forget the cash. Send me the beef jerky. That's one of my.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Sam is Joe. Yeah, Joe.
We'll
Let's
always
have
take
you
some
on the
beef jerky.
stream. Yeah, Linux. Switch. Let's have Joe maybe as a guest.
Yeah,
Maybe
sounds good.
next weekend or sometime. Okay, Joe. How can we reach you? Do you have a YouTube channel or
Let's see. If you just find his thing, click on the three little buttons, you can go to the channel. Let's see
or just
where
send me
that
an
goes.
email, Joe.
Yeah.
Go to channel. Okay, I see now. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well,
Okay.
I don't see a way that I could send a contact over, but
Okay.
yeah, Joe, get a hold of one of us.
Yeah,
And
just send me an email. I'll send you a reply back, and we'll just go from there, Joe. Okay? How does that sound? All right, get out of that. Okay. Yeah, Joe, we'll just do it that way. I think Joe is a fellow Ubuntu Mate user. I need like a soundboard. Oh, yay. You know, stadium. Joe, you can use totalostoday1@gmail.com if you want to. Or I think on YouTube, it's note2note@yahoo.com. I still have Yahoo. I don't know why. I don't use it as much, but yeah.
You know, you have to have something to make people think that they're hacking into you.
Yes, make them think, yes.
Make them think they're being successful.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And we'll go from there. Hello, Spin. We're going to be leaving here shortly, but hello. So, Joe, you're still happy with Ubuntu Mate, right? Lamer says you, Yahoo. I know. I know.
Well, I mean, hey, if you think that's bad, I still have a Hotmail account.
That's probably worse.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not hacked as much, but I mean, the mere fact that it's attached to Microsoft just makes it inherently of the devil, doesn't it? I mean,
sounds like it. All right, I think we got all the comments still. Thank you. That beef jerky, man. Ah, that sounds awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta send us some beef jerky.
Yeah, really.
Sounds good.
I don't know if it's good for you, but man, there's something about beef jerky, especially the tender kind. If you buy it just right, that hasn't been sitting on the shelf that long. Oh man, it's the bee's knees, as they say. Enarita says,
boo. Hotmail. Yeah, time to move on. Well, I mean, that's where all my spam junk goes, so that's why I keep it around.
Okay. Joe is very happy with Mate. We'll do a fresh install of 18. Okay. I mean, Proton Mail, I actually have an account. I don't use it. I keep forgetting about it.
I mean, here's the thing: is my email addresses are my own. I run my own servers for my regular use emails, so I don't tie myself to any of these companies. But you know, I mean, you have the Hotmail, which is good to accumulate junk. And
is that expensive running your own servers, or is it fairly priced?
I mean, I'm a web developer, and part of that is I sell server space, and so, I mean, for me, I buy a VPS, and so the VPS I can split into as many cPanels as I want, and then the cPanels go into different websites, and then
so because of what you do, all right,
you know, I think I end up paying, I want to say maybe $600 a year, I think.
For multiple servers.
Yeah, and that gives me, I mean, I can probably spin up 50 to 100 accounts on that. So.
And you have total control.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
And
cool.
Yeah, in fact, that's even where my Nextcloud account is. So, you know, all my stuff is there. Of course, part of my Nextcloud account pings off an AWS server because cPanel can't run you need a Calibora server if you want to run, Nextcloud with the Google, like the Google Docs type replacement, the ability to use LibreOffice in an online format. You need an extra server for that.
Got it. Okay. All right.
So I use AWS for that.
Henrietta says, "Wow, that is too confusing for me to do." Well, then don't do it.
Yeah.
Ubuntu Mate next month for the LTS, not in June. I think Linux Mint, their version comes out in June. They release when ready, not on a necessary time schedule.
What do I have to deal with? Look at that.
Oh, look at that.
It's just like, cute. Dude, just pet my belly, yo. Yeah, you. Whole internet's seeing you. How many people are on right now? 26. 26 people are watching you. You want to say hi?
I thought I put you. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I did, Tom Putty Tat.
All right, guys. I think we are done. All right, Joe. I'll get in touch with you. Maybe I'll see you tonight on the Big Daddy Linux. What a corn dog cat. All right. Okay, so we'll catch you guys in about a week or so. If anything catches your attention news-wise, I guess let us know. Support the channels. The links below in the show notes. You know what to do. And that's it for this one. Thank you for watching Life in Linux. You know, you mentioned GIMP. I used GIMP to create a simple Life in Linux logo. I don't know if you have any other ideas, Tom, for a special logo. I just used simple graphics.
Yeah, show me what you got, and I'll have a look at it.
Okay. That's it. That's a happy St. Patty's Day. Today was my mom's birthday, believe it or not. And one of my friends sings on the side. He called and left a message. I didn't tell my mom, but I saw him last night. He did a singing birthday telegram on the phone with the voicemail, and my mom got a kick out of it. So, Jim, I don't think you watched this, but thank you, Jim. Jim from Pittsburgh. If you're in Pittsburgh, a shout out to Jim, the Jimmy Z Trio. They are awesome. They do like Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, stuff like that. Classy trio. All right. Thank you, Joe. Yes. Happy birthday to Mama Toss. Yes. She got a kick out of that singing telegram. It was the very first one in her life. So good for her. And thank you again, Jim. All right. Thank you, Anarita. Thank you all. We'll catch you next time. Just make sure you click the notification bell. And if you haven't, and hopefully that'll work. Ding, ding. That's it. We are signing off. Tom, any last words?
Last words. Yeah, my cat can even compete with the what is that little kitten university thing? Even my cat just has all those guys beat. All 4 cams cannot beat this cat right here.
Well, I sign off with my little fake pet raccoon. So neat.
All right.
All right.
That's cool.
Bye, guys.